On April 8th, 1986, a white female was raped at a shoe store between the hours of 11:30 a.m. and 12 o'clock p.m. She was raped and robbed at gunpoint. The perpetrator actually put cement on her sweater. This is important information to remember. She was not able to identify her assailant. She went to the police station. They showed her high school yearbooks, which was in California. Elsinore, California is where they were located. They showed her a yearbook. She still was unable to pick out the assailant. She went back to the police station and she saw a wanted poster. And on the wanted poster, Herman Atkins was wanted for an unrelated crime. She said that's the person that did it. Fast forward 1988, he was found guilty by all white jury and sentenced to 45 years in prison. Mind you, this crime happened in 86. He just graduated high school in 84. He went to prison when he was 22 years old. Because of the nature of his crime, they put him in maximum security prison. He's about 145 pounds, soaking wet. He's a young guy. He did not have a hard life. He was raised to love everybody, according to a document that he has on YouTube, which I'm going to put the link in the video below. Now, he had a solid alibi. He had an alibi witness. The only evidence he had was the victim who saw his wanted poster in the police station and said it was him. Then she got a witness at the store to also say it was him. And they had a forensic specialist. They didn't have DNA evidence back then, but the forensic specialist said that it was a 4.4% chance that it was him because of his blood type. He's in prison. This man had to serve 12 years in prison before he was able to be exonerated in 1993. They would not give him access to the sweater to retrieve the DNA evidence. 1993, after all of these years of fighting, he finally got access to the DNA evidence and he was exonerated. He was able to go on and sue them, and he was awarded $1.2 million by the state of California. He posted on a podcast, and it was just so interesting. I just looked at the podcast, and I would definitely advise you to go look at it too. And some things that he said was, when he went in there, of course, you know, he's going crazy. He's not able to see his family, all of these things. He had this altercation with the officer where he like broke a glass to basically like get their attention, and he was put in this, you know, disciplinary cell. When he was in a disciplinary cell, there was an OG in there that talked to him and said, listen, if you're really innocent, like you say you're innocent, you need to go in the law library. You need to study your case, and you need to figure out how they were able to convict you, even though you were innocent. That was a turning point of his sentence. That was the hope at the end of the tunnel. And I want to tell you that that is something that could really get you through your time. A lot of people do their time wrong. They go in there and they just get involved with all the wrong things, all the wrong people. They got all this anger. They got all this frustration, when really you need to be worried about if you can get yourself out of that situation, if you could get some of that time taking off your sentence. Not everybody is innocent like Herman Atkins, but there are a lot of people, especially black people, that are in there on trumped up charges. These charges are ridiculous. They know that you're ignorant. They get you to cop out to these plea deals. And instead of us trying to figure out how we can reverse this action, we instead get in that prison system and we live like we're in a jungle. Herman Atkins was able to turn his situation around because he channeled his anger. Now, he got out of prison when he was 34 years old. That doesn't mean that everything's all fine and dandy, because just because you're out of prison, you got a lot of things to overcome. He had to overcome PTSD. You got to rehabilitate with your family. He lost his mom from cancer. You lose so many family members. 12 years is a long time to do. What he was taken from him, they could never give back. That $1 million, I know a lot of people are like, oh, I'm glad he got some money. Nothing can replace time. Time is irreplaceable. And he was wrongly convicted, and we still have a broken judicial system that wrongly convicts so many of our black men. So many. And we need to have a change for this. What I'm trying to do with my channel is just bring awareness to cases that have clearly been mistried and people that have really been treated unfairly by the judicial system, and bring it to light so that we can see that we can vote better. Because a lot of times we're voting wrong. We're using our voting power based on personalities and stuff. You need to be looking at what are they doing for the prison system, because this mass incarceration is just modern day slavery. We need to be looking at what they're doing for people that are suffering when they're coming out of prison, the rehabilitation. People are going to get out of prison. You can't say, oh, I don't care what happens to them. They got to go do their time. When they get out, then what? There needs to be systems in place for people that are getting out of prison so that they can basically go back into society and be a impact to society. If not, it's going to be a vicious cycle. And this is how recidivism continues to keep on.